Welcome to the Manager Lab, where we delve into the increasingly dynamic world of talent management. In each episode, we will unravel key insights, break down the most relevant books and articles, and provide actionable tips to optimize your approach in developing and retaining top talent. Stay tuned for a deep dive into the art, science, and strategy of unlocking your team's full potential. Let's enter the Manager Lab. Well, welcome back to the lab, where we equip leaders with timeless principles and practical tools to elevate their impact. And today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and often misunderstood principles from the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell, the law of intuition. And Maxwell states it simply: leaders evaluate everything with a leadership bias. But what does that really mean? It means that great leaders don't just rely on data, reports, or even experience alone. They develop something deeper, an instinct, if you will, a gut-level awareness that allows them to read situations, people, and timing with remarkable clarity. This is intuition. And here's the truth. Intuition is not magic. It's cultivated insight. The law of intuition teaches us that leadership is more than what you see. It's what you sense. Leaders with strong intuition can read between the lines in conversations. They can sense morale shifts before they show up in metrics. They can spot opportunities other people often overlook, and they can detect problems before they escalate. They don't ignore facts. They just interpret them through experience, emotional intelligence, and pattern recognition. In other words, intuition is experience compressed into instinct. Now, why does this matter for managers? Well, in today's world, managers are flooded with dashboards, KPIs, constant noise. But the most effective leaders aren't the ones with the most data. They're the ones who can discern what matters most. They can discern what that data actually means, because leadership happens in real time. You don't always get a spreadsheet before making a decision about a struggling employee or a team conflict, a shifting priority, or even a moment of opportunity. You have to feel your way forward, grounded in wisdom and not guesswork. So here's key takeaway number 1. Intuition is built, not born. So let's debunk a myth right away. Some people think intuition is a gift you either have or you don't have. Not true. According to Maxwell, and reinforced by leadership research, by the way, intuition grows from experience, from reflection, from failure, and from very intentional learning. Every difficult conversation you've had, every project that didn't go as planned, and every success you've analyzed, you're building your intuition. So the tip here is, at the end of each week, ask yourself, what did I sense this week that turned out to be right? And where did I ignore my instincts and then ultimately regret it? Because reflection sharpens intuition. Here's key takeaway number 2. Intuition reads people first. The strongest leaders don't just understand strategy, they understand people. They can walk into a room and quickly sense who's engaged, who's hesitant, who's frustrated, and who's ready to step up. This is what separates good managers from great ones, because leadership is always relational before it's operational. And so the tip here is, in your next one-on-one, listen between the words or beyond the words. Pay attention to tone, to energy, to body language, and then ask a deeper question. What's something you haven't said yet that I should know? That's how you train your intuition to read people, not just performance. Key takeaway number 3. Intuition balances data with discernment. Here's where many managers get stuck. They either over-rely on data or over-rely on gut feeling. Well, great leaders do both. They use data as a compass, but intuition as the lens, because data tells you what is happening, but intuition helps you understand why it's happening and, more importantly, what to do next. The tip here is, the next time you're making a decision, pause and ask, what do the numbers actually say? What do I sense underneath the numbers? And when those align, move forward confidently. And when they don't, dig deeper. Key takeaway number 4. Intuition is critical in uncertain moments. The higher you go in leadership, the fewer clear answers you get, because ambiguity increases, time pressure increases, and the cost of hesitation increases. This is where intuition becomes indispensable. Maxwell points out that leaders must often act before they have full clarity. And in those moments, intuition becomes your internal guide. And so the tip here is practice making small decisions very quickly, not recklessly, but decisively, because speed builds confidence and confidence strengthens intuition. All right, key takeaway number 5, the last one. Intuition requires courage. Let's be honest, trusting your gut can be very uncomfortable because intuition doesn't always come with proof. It whispers before it shouts, and sometimes it leads you in a direction that others don't yet understand. But here's the reality. Leadership requires conviction before consensus. If you wait for complete certainty, you'll miss critical moments. And so the tip here is that the next time that you feel a strong internal nudge, don't dismiss it immediately. Test it, explore it, act on it if it aligns with your values and your experience, because intuition, when trained, is often ahead of logic. So here's a powerful leadership reminder. Maxwell teaches that intuition is influenced by who you are. If you're insecure, your intuition may lean towards fear. If you're confident, it can lean towards opportunity. If you're inexperienced, it may be hesitant. And if you're seasoned, it becomes sharp and reliable. So developing intuition is not just about skill, it's about growth. You grow as a leader, and your intuition grows with you. So let's bring this home with 3 simple practices that you can start using today. Number 1, build a reflection rhythm. Use 5 minutes at the end of each day or even at the end of each week so you can capture the lessons, capture patterns, and look for signals in some of your routines. Number 2, lead one level deeper in conversations. Don't settle for surface level updates. Train your intuition by seeking what's beneath. And number 3, trust, but test your gut. When you feel something strongly, don't ignore it. Pair it with data and take thoughtful action. The law of intuition reminds us that leadership is not just about knowing more. It's about seeing more. Seeing what others miss, sensing what others overlook, and stepping forward when others hesitate. So as you lead this week, don't just rely on what's in front of you. Listen to what's within you. Because the longer you lead, the more you learn, the more you reflect, the stronger that inner voice becomes. And when you learn to trust it, you don't just become a better decision maker, you become a more powerful leader. Well, thanks for listening. If this episode challenged you or inspired you, share it with another leader who's ready to grow. And remember, great leadership isn't just learned, it's sensed. And until next time we meet in the Manager Lab, do good work.